Hello again, friends. I'm coming to Ironface and my partner Jetmo Chris. We represent TeamNO. Today we went to go see another lovely movie, The Last Witch Hunter, with Vin Diesel and Elijah Wood and the British guy.
The British guy.
Nobody remembers the name of.
I'm sure you can tell by his voice that he didn't like it as much. But
Yes.
But as usual, we have to try and explain why it is not liked as much. And let's hit straight up for our story. Now, The Last Witch Hunter follows our main character, Vin Diesel. It said 800. It said it was set 800 years ago, so 1200 AD, approximate.
Yeah, ish.
Didn't give an exact date. Is where the movie actually starts with Vin Diesel, who, by the way, actually looked really cool as a Viking.
Yeah.
I wish he'd kept that. He could have been the Vin Viking. Anyways. And a group of other warriors and a priest are hunting witches. Who knew that from a movie named Witch Hunter? Apparently, while killing witches, he supposedly kills the queen and is cursed with immortality. So it skips ahead after that straight for 800 years to modern day. And that's without ruining too much, you know, a little bit of spoiler alert here. He now has to go on. He's basically the witch police at this point, and is still hunting witches and bringing them to justice, but in a more fair system rather than just executing them outright. So you follow out his story and the things that he's trying to do, and his past coming to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, it's Vin Diesel. What can I say about the characters? Do you have a phone? I'd like to phone this movie in. Seriously, not a single person in this movie crack a smile, cry, or emote in any way. Yeah, Vin Diesel looked cool with a beard, but it's...
I'm Vin Diesel.
Yeah, and then, 800 years later, I'm Vin Diesel.
He did a better job as Groot.
Yes, he did. I mean, seriously, all of these actors are big-name actors, but none of them do anything, really. I mean, there's very little action in which Vin Diesel actually gets to perform anything, and when you do see it, you can't see it because of the cinematography. This movie is a mess.
Yeah.
As far as the villains go, there's a couple of them, and none of them are really that important, honestly. I don't know who the actors were. I don't really care, because they don't really emote either. It's so bland.
Yeah, I do have to say, it's really sad to see a movie that can be so slow and dragging on and at the same time provide no information. Like, there are a couple of parts where it looks like they're going to explain a little bit more, and I was really interested. Now, this is going to be a spoiler alert, sorry, but I have to explain. One of the female supporting cast for Vin Diesel, they go to explain a little bit about her story, and her story literally is summed up in 2 sentences. I found out I had this gift when I was a child. I hurt my brother. I ran away. Sorry, I guess that's 3 sentences. And that's it. That is the entire depth of her character that they give for a backstory. No explanation beyond that. And they gloss over it. Now, this is after, like, 10 minutes of conversation from Vin Diesel explaining pointless, boring shit. And then, like, what about you? I hurt my brother. I ran away. That's it. Let's skip on and pretend that never happened.
Let's fall in love.
That's way too forced. So, I mean, with that, it's hard to even say Vin Diesel is the main character in this, because they all feel like kind of puppety. Even all your characters are generic archetypes. Vin Diesel, I lost my family and I'm going to avenge them.
I'm the silent immortal hunter. Yeah. And then the, supportive butler guy giving profound speeches about the significance of the hero. Oh wait, that was Batman. No, it's the same freaking actor.
Elijah Wood is supposed to play the new guy, the support who kind of doesn't know what he's doing and fumbles around, and then you've got the misunderstood sidekick who's Robin. I mean, this witch, whatever, same thing.
Yeah. The only thing that you can... I'm not sure of the word of it, but they do have a tendency to actually bring in things that are later brought in to be important. Like, okay, hey, this talisman, this is where I got this talisman, and this is why this is important. Later on, hey, this is actually important because I can use this now. Instead of, hey, talisman of anti-witchery, go! I will give that. There were a couple of points where they actually brought that about for the story-wise. But the story was bland, phoned in, so predictable. Every shot, every theme, every imagery, even the monsters were, basically ripped off from other movies and other ideas. This movie is really not that creative for all the CGI they do, which is constant. I mean, it's a movie about witches and magic, so I guess that kind of fits. But it doesn't make up a movie. You need to explain. You need to have things to make it important.
I have to say that the cinematography and our CGI honestly wasn't that bad, but it's, for any of you other people that are gamers, it feels like what people for D&D called the Christmas tree effect. There was so much magic and so much going on that it loses its luster. It wasn't like, look, this is amazing. It's like, oh, look, there's the 30th scene with something magical just half flashing in the background.
And it's like, oh, well, this is a magic effect. This is a magic effect. This is a magic effect. They don't really explain why magic works at all. Or they don't even explain why he's a Viking. It's like, okay, well, if you want him to be a certain character type and to have certain character traits, that would make sense, but they never go into that. It's just, he used to be a Viking, now he's a witch hunter.
Yeah. Well, we assume Viking. He looked like a Viking. But back to our scenery and stuff, and even with the good cinematography, somewhat good cinematography, filming felt like a ferret with ADD. I'm sorry. The amount of, let's jump to scenes, flashback! Look at this flashback! Flashback!
Half the movie is spent in the same flashback. They keep going back to this one flashback. And it's predictable as all get out. We know the punchline when we finally get there. And this movie, like you said, really feels like ADD because it doesn't know if it wants to be a war movie or a detective story or, superhero trying to protect, sidekick. What are you trying to tell? What story do you want to tell and stick with it?
Yeah, I meant just in the fact of the shots, but the story is pretty bad too. Both the time, we're all over the place in both cases. Some characters seem to quickly adapt strangely. Like he said about joking about love story. It feels like they're trying to force the female support character to fall in love with Vin Diesel, which it really looks like it. They're near the end, but it's forced. This takes place over a period of what, 2 days? That's right.
2 days.
2 days, and she goes from, oh God, I hate you, you're the boogeyman, to, we love you!
Yeah, it was just, oh my God.
So, overall, I mean, what do you have to say overall on this?
Overall, don't go watch this movie. I love Vin Diesel and the British guy that I can never think of the guy's name. I mean, they're good actors, and even Elijah Wood. It's like, you have so many good actors, but you're not doing anything with them. I cannot recommend this movie at all.
I can't recommend this for theaters. Now, for the ridiculousness of it all, there are a few good action stunts. I do mean a few. This feels like one of those movies that you would sit down with your friends and put it on the background while playing games or hanging out. I wouldn't recommend going to see it in the theaters. Maybe pick it up at a rental one time or pick it up when it's a cheap DVD so that you can watch and laugh at it. But definitely don't. If you're going to spend the money on the ticket, you'd be better spending the money on the DVD.
I wouldn't even suggest that. I mean, like I said before we walked in, it looked like In Name of the King. And if they had more over-the-topness about this, I would have enjoyed it a lot more because I could have made fun of it more. But everybody was just so bland. It's like, this was a total waste of time to me.
Bland, you use that word so much that it's becoming bland.
Yes, that's the purpose of the word bland, sir.
Anyways, so, yeah, barely worth it in the end. I mean, we're both pretty much in agreement on that. I don't know if we have any more bad things to say about this movie, besides the word bland over and over. Bland.
Let's say it together.
Bland. Anyways, I think our next one that is scheduled to go see is Spectre, which is something really looking forward to. But we do have a down week. We're going to see if there's any movies in particular, or if you've got some suggestions, hit us up and we'll try and check it out next week. But as usual, if you like to listen to our ridiculousness, bland, just go ahead and click that like down below. And if you want to hear more of our rants about how bland the movie was,
yes.
click subscribe. And we hope to see you next time.
Bland.